Working. Go back to this. Hello. Hey there, it is 12 noon on Friday, which means it's time for this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time to help you understand how to grow your real estate business. And what we're talking about today is something that's really attractive to a lot of people, not just home buyers, but also aspiring real estate agents or maybe current real estate agents, and that's new construction homes. Now look, you don't have to work for a home builder to sell new construction homes. So you could even specialize in new construction homes, working under a broker, and still have that flexibility of being able to do different types of transactions, being able to help people sell their property rather than just buying the next one. So new construction, this is a really great way because, builders make it really easy to market their properties. So we're going to talk about how it is that you're going to want to team up with builders, how it is that you go about getting the information you need to relay to your clients, and how to basically build a pipeline that ultimately feeds into the builder pipeline, and you could even increase the commission it is that you're getting paid, where you could have these builders paying you higher commissions than any seller typically would ever pay you. So that's what we're talking about today, new construction. It's a really exciting type of sale because everything's new. It's, think of it like buying a new car versus buying a used car. The new car stuff, that's usually more exciting. That's the way it is with new construction homes as well, especially when, people could pick out little options and things like that. So that's what we're covering today. I'm John Christmer. You're watching State of Real Estate. State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Christman. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate, where every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we're live helping you mastermind to grow your real estate business. And the topic of today is new construction. So new construction, the home builders type of thing. This is where you've got model homes, semi-custom homes. Now look, if you're new to real estate, you might already have been researching this option of, do I want to go work under a broker or do I want to work with an owner-developer? So there's a lot of drawbacks to registering your license with an owner-developer. There are some benefits to that as well. If you're looking for more of a career type of move rather than a start your own business type of move, that might be where it'd be better to work directly for one of these new construction owner developer type of entities where you're working directly for, let's say, Lennar Homes or William Ryan Homes or Bay Homes or whatever the home builder might be in your area. So if you work directly for that owner developer and they're just an owner developer, you're only able to sell these owner developers' homes. And so if you've got a friend that comes along that wants to buy one of these homes, but they also need to sell their existing home, you can't sell their home because you're not employed by a broker. You couldn't even earn a referral fee for selling that home, for referring it to somebody to sell the home. In order to earn any of that commission for selling somebody else's property, that's where you need to be in a brokerage capacity rather than working directly for an owner developer. So working at an owner developer, this is the equivalent of, let's say you're working for Ford. Now, if you go to Ford, and let's take trade-ins and let's just keep it real simple here, that you're at Ford selling new cars, somebody comes in, and you could sell them a Ford, but that's basically it. And if they want to go buy a Chevy, they've got to go talk to the Chevy dealer. That's what the boat you're in when you're working directly for an owner-developer. Now, the other option that most real estate agents go down, and this is more so if, again, you're trying to look for the building a business more so than having a career, because with a developer, there's usually some sort of salary plus commission and things like that. But when you're working for a broker, you're usually just commission only. Now, the benefit here is you do have a higher upward potential. There's more money it is you can make, but there is more risk that you're taking on, like anytime you're starting a business versus having a career or some sort of job. Now, when you're working for an a broker, not an owner developer, when you're working directly for a broker, the word brokerage means bringing together buyers and sellers. Bringing together buyers and sellers. And typically when we say that, when we think of real estate brokerage, we're thinking of a, for lack of a better term, used home being sold to a buyer. And if you want to go buy a new home, you got to go talk to that home builder. But that home builder is just another seller. So we're just as able to broker a deal between a owner-developer seller and a buyer as we would any other seller. They're just another seller. So you could specialize in these areas in new construction, working with home builders, but working under a broker. And again, you're just treating them like any other seller, that you're just getting paid on a transactional basis through your broker and all that other stuff that goes on when you typically get paid through your broker. And this is usually the more advantageous. Again, they have the pros and cons of this here. And we've done an episode before on broker versus owner developer. But overall, you do, again, have more potential working under a broker because now you could work with anybody. You don't have to specialize in just one home builder. You could be the new home specialist in all the home builders in the area. So let's say that you're wanting to go down this path. Let's say that you want to specialize in new construction, working with home builders, model homes, semi-custom homes, fully custom homes, whatever the case may be. And you're saying, okay, well, how do I go out and find these buyers? And do they pay me? Yes, they do. These owner developers will pay you. And again, typically higher commissions than any other seller typically would pay you. And, you know, building homes is a profitable endeavor. That's why it goes on so much. People make a lot of money. These home builders make a lot of money when they're doing it right, when they know what they're doing, building these homes. And they don't get paid for building them. That's all expense. They get paid for selling them. That's when they get paid for these homes it is that they build once they're sold. And yes, they do have their own efforts to attract buyers. But there might be somebody who's on the fence. There's a lot of people that are on the fence of, oh, do I want to buy something new, or is it a better deal for me to buy a used home? Now, when you think of this whole new versus used thing, a lot of people are going to think that, oh, something used is going to be cheaper. Something used is going to be less expensive. You go to a car dealer. A new car is always going to be more expensive than a used car. Cars do not appreciate in value, but what does appreciate in value? Real estate appreciates in value. Real estate appreciates in value, so you might not be getting a significant savings by buying a used or resale home. But again, a lot of people have that mentality that they're looking for a home that's already built. And even if they know that there's not going to be a difference in the price, that it's not, again, new versus used, like we would think of with anything else, they might just be wanting to buy a resale home because they don't want to wait for a new home to be constructed. They don't want to wait the time it takes. They don't want to go through the stress and so on and so forth and all these things with building their own home. And it's really not as intimidating. The whole real estate space, we're all about taking what seems intimidating and making it seem easy. And that's where, again, you can tap into and specialize in this new construction type of arena. So that's why builders, they're willing to pay us a commission. They know that we have clients. They know that despite what marketing it is they're doing, and there's a lot of home builders out there that don't really actively market at all. They rely on real estate professionals to bring them buyers. So there's tons of business to be had for us in the brokerage capacity by bringing them to a home builder. Now, where do you even begin with all this? Where do you begin when you want to specialize in something? Well, anytime you want to specialize in something, it's all about becoming an expert. It's all about becoming an expert in what it is that is going to be your specialty. That you have specific, that's what special means. Special means that you have specific knowledge about new construction. That somebody could come to you and say, hey, I'm looking to build a new home, or I want to buy a brand new home, but I'm not sure what builder is going to be best. I'm not sure what neighborhood I want to be in. If they go talk to whatever that home builder is in one neighborhood, they're going to tell them why they're the best. And then they'll go to another home builder and they're going to tell them why they're the best. And none of them are going to say anything good about the other, probably, because they all want to sell their own home. But with us, in the brokerage capacity, again, bringing the buyer and the seller together, we could help counsel them through this process and figure out, okay, what neighborhood is going to be right for them? What home builder is going to be ideal for them? What characteristics are going to be better? But it all comes down to us being an expert in the first place about this. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about how you really get the ball rolling with this and start to become an expert in new construction. What's required to become a Florida real estate broker? Well, a few things. Number one, you have to have at least 2 years experience as a sales associate or a broker. Now, this experience could actually even be earned outside of Florida. It just has to be 2 years within the last 5 years. So 2 years of experience to become a broker. You also need to take a pre-licensing course. The broker pre-licensing course is 72 hours. It's got a 100 question and, of course, exam. Once you pass that and file all your paperwork with the state to upgrade to a broker license, then you just need to pass your state exam. That's another 100 question exam. You need to get a 75% on that. You complete those items and you'll have a Florida real estate broker license where you can open your own office or just remain with your current broker as a broker associate. To find out more about upgrading your real estate license to broker, check out upgradetobroker.com. That's upgradetobroker.com. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Charisma. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. What we're talking about today is new construction and how you become a specialist in new construction. So we already kind of talked about, just a basic overview of working directly for a developer versus being in that brokerage capacity. And even in that brokerage capacity, we could get paid and we could position ourselves as the expert in new construction in our area. And so in Tampa, for example, now your market where you're watching from right now, there might not be a lot of new construction. So that makes it hard to be a new construction specialist if there isn't any new construction. So that kind of is necessary for this year. But let's say that your market does have a lot of new construction. In Tampa, there's tons of new construction going on, lots of homes being built. And there's a lot of opportunity that's out there for people that might not have considered a brand new home. Maybe they don't want to wait, and there are solutions to that problem. There's what they call inventory homes. So these home builders, a lot of times they're not just building semi-custom where you look at a model and then you start the construction process. You could definitely do that, but a lot of times they'll also carry inventory homes. So inventory homes are homes they're carrying in their inventory. Nothing really too cryptic about this right here, but it's homes that are basically already built or are close to completion. Maybe they just have some finishes, maybe some painting, some basic stuff like that to do on the inside. But these are homes that are ready to go or close to being ready to go. that they're already basically finished, and now all they've got to do is, pick out some final details. They'll get it all finished up, and they can move in maybe within a month or a couple of months, rather than waiting a year or a year and a half to have the home built completely start to finish. So that's definitely huge. That's a big thing to get some knowledge on there. But again, where do you start finding out this information? So look, if you've got nothing better to do right now, and you don't already have some sort of specialty, and you don't already have any business, go out there and go tour yourself some of these new construction neighborhoods. Go tour some of these model homes. Go there to introduce yourself to the salespersons that are at these model homes. Get to know them, get to know the neighborhood, get to know the typical type of person that would be ideal for this, because there's different price points in different neighborhoods, there's different amenities in different neighborhoods, there's all different things that make these more special for one person or another. So go on a tour. And on this tour, maybe take some notes, get some of this collateral, find out, what are maybe some of the floor plans and things like that. Have some of these things so that way when you're meeting with a buyer, you could sit down with them and go through a consultation of, hey, check out these couple neighborhoods here I think that might work for you. There's a couple new construction home builders, blah, 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 blah. But now you're opening the door to this, and that's what the home builders ultimately want us to do. They want us to find out, okay, what buyers do we have might these homes be a good fit for? Because we'll pay you for it. We'll pay you to bring them to us. Almost every home builder out there offers brokerages a commission for bringing them a buyer. A lot of them, like Lennar Homes, for example, they've got a pretty neat program that the more homes that you sell that are Lennar Homes, the higher your commissions get, the higher the commission rates are. They've got a program, you start out I think at like 3%, then after a couple of home sales you get bumped to 4%, then a couple more home sales you get bumped up to a 5% commission that you're getting paid. So you could earn huge commissions, and these sales are again, there's pros and cons, but overall, this is typically going to be easier than selling a used home, for lack of a better term. I mean, already we're dealing with a property that's brand new, which doesn't necessarily mean there might not be material defects or issues with it. Maybe there is some issues that could have gone on in the construction process, but generally speaking, they're going to be in better condition than an older home. Again, that's not always true, but that makes it a little bit easier there. But what really makes this a lot easier is you've got another salesperson that you're working with that isn't dipping into your commission. That you've got your own commission, and they've got their own commission if they're a licensed agent for the developer, and you're there as the team to help this process get through. And why else is this easier? Well, a lot of these home builders, they'll have programs where they'll also get closing costs and incentive things like that for the buyer. Maybe if they use their preferred lender, they get a certain amount of closing costs paid for, or some sort of incentive. So again, it's making the sale easier. Maybe you're able to close on a higher dollar value property than what they could afford when they're buying on a resale type of property, because of the closing costs being covered, because of any concessions that might be paid by that home builder. So go on the tour and find out, what do they have to offer, what type of programs they have, what incentives do they have to get people to buy homes with them. Now, you might be wondering, well, John, are these buyers going to get a better deal if they don't use me? That's a huge misconception that a lot of buyers have that are considering a new construction home, is they think that they'll get a better deal if they don't use a realtor. Because, it's really hard for people to believe that we work for them for free. But typically when you're working with a buyer, you're working for them for free. And it's not really that you're working for them for free, it's they're not having to pay your commission. That commission is already pre-negotiated by the seller. But then it comes back to that idea of, okay, well, am I going to get a better price from the seller if I don't use a realtor? And when you're dealing with a new construction home, we're able to get buyers better pricing. We're able to get better deals. Maybe not the better price. We'll talk about how really home builders might be more willing to negotiate. It's usually not based on the price, but there's other things they may be willing to negotiate on. But if that buyer goes to the home builder, ask yourself this question. How many deals does that buyer represent to that home builder? And that's just going to be one. One property that they're buying, and that's it. Just one deal. Whereas us, as a real estate professional, especially somebody who specializes in new construction, how many deals do we represent to that home builder? So who are they going to give the better deal to? The person that's just going to be one sale, or the person that could represent multiple sales, 10, 20, 30, maybe even more sales? They're going to want to make sure that they give us the best deals for our clients, so that way we keep bringing people back. So go on the tour and start to establish a relationship with them. Really, we're making both of our jobs easier. We're making the sales agent at the home builder their job easier because we're bringing them the clients and we're helping with this process, and they're making our job easier because they're the ones that have the expert knowledge about these properties. So go on the tour, start finding out this information. Collect any materials that you can. Collect information. Now, I do also want to talk about how you would want to try to negotiate as well. So again, one of the big benefits of brokerages in general is our ability to negotiate. And if you try to negotiate on price with a new construction home, they're usually willing to wait it out for full price. They know, and again, they're professionals. They're not your typical seller that is just selling one property. They're a professional business that builds properties and sells them. So there are ways to negotiate with home builders, but it's usually not on the price. And we'll explain why in just a second, but first we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stick with us. I'm John Kursmo. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate, and my name is John Carissimo. And what we're talking about today, we're here every Friday, 12 noon, to help you mastermind to grow your real estate business. Today's topic is new construction, how you're able to be a specialist in new construction. And there's agents out there that make their money solely off of new construction. They work under a broker, but they're making probably 80, 90%, if not all of their money off of selling new construction homes. And the benefit here as well is, especially if they're not a first-time home buyer, you've probably got a listing to be able to pick up as well. That you're helping them buy this new home and you've got a listing to pick up in the process. You know, back, I think it was on this last Wednesday for Ask the Instructor, we did an episode on target marketing. And target marketing is all about carving out your marketing strategy to be very specific, to tap into a very specific type of clientele. Because the more specific and specialized you could be, the easier it's going to be for you to get business, because you're reaching a more direct group of people rather than just vaguely throwing yourself out there as the real estate agent. So new construction is one of those niches, one of those specialties you could tie yourself into here. Again, start collecting some info, go on tours, visit these properties, know the differences that are out there, know the options that are available. But look, when it comes down to it and they find one of these properties it is that they like, they might be wondering, well, what can we do? Are we going to be able to negotiate on the price? And you're much more likely to be able to have wiggle room on a price on a resale property as opposed to a new construction property. So stick with me on this one. So let's say this home builder's got a whole neighborhood that they're building out, but this is one of the first homes that are being sold in that neighborhood. Let's say this is one of the first homes being sold in this neighborhood. Now, if they just had one home to sell and that's it and they're out, they'd probably negotiate on the price like a typical seller would. But when they've got 100 more homes that they want to sell in this neighborhood, when they sell a property for a lower price, that makes it more difficult to sell future properties for a higher price. So they want, and that's why home builders will a lot of times hold out for a full price or as close to full price as they can get, because especially when they're building out a whole neighborhood, that sets the bar, especially when this is a brand new neighborhood. It's the trickiest when it's the first couple of homes being sold in that neighborhood, when it's a new development, because this is a whole brand new neighborhood and you're wondering, okay, well, what are homes going to sell for? Well, when that home builder can show, okay, this last home sold for this much money, that's now showing that, okay, this is what properties are selling for in this neighborhood. So they're probably going to hold out for as close to full price, if not full price, as they can. Now, how do we negotiate then? There's more to negotiate off of than just price. And that's what you've got to remember when you're dealing with a home builder. Is the home builder, again, they want a full price because they're ultimately going to be able to say that home, this home just sold for $350,000. But let's say it's $350,000 minus $25,000 in seller concessions. They might be saying, wait a minute, what? Seller concessions? So seller concessions, where the seller's conceding on something, where the seller's maybe paying for closing costs, where the seller's maybe paying for some sort of upgrade, where the seller is basically giving some sort of money. Maybe they're paying for homeowners association fee dues, or maybe if this is a condo development, maybe they're paying for condo fees, or maybe they're paying for, again, the list goes on of all these little costs, where they could still say it's a $350,000 sale price, but really when you take out the $25,000 that they conceded on, it's really like you got a $325,000 sale price. So that's where you're more likely to get the money from a home builder, is not off of the price, because they're going to do everything they can to get that price as high as possible, because that's going to help influence future sales. Now, when this is like one of the last homes in the neighborhood, you know, maybe then they'll negotiate on the price just because they want to get it sold and get it done and get out. But when you're in the beginning stages or even in the middle stages, that's where they want to try to keep that price as high as possible, but they're more likely to do concessions, maybe for closing cost, for title insurance, for fees, for association fees, for whatever it may be, for maybe upgrades onto the property. That's where they're more likely to negotiate. That's where they'll maybe accept a deal and get a really good deal. Would they sell this $350,000 property for $325,000? Probably no way that would happen, because now when they go forward to sell these other properties, they say, well, what about that one that only sold for $325,000? It's like, oh, well, we just negotiated a really good deal for them. Well, why can't you negotiate a good deal for me? So when somebody says, oh, what did that one sell for? Oh, that sold for $350,000. Oh, wow, okay, I guess, yeah, this is right in line with what it is that you're charging here. They don't see the concessions that existed there, and really that the net amount for the sale price of this, when you take out these concessions, was only $325,000. So it gets a good deal here. And now us as real estate professionals, it takes a little bit of brain power to be able to understand what's going on here. It takes even more brain power for not only us to communicate that to our clients, but for our clients to be able to understand this as well. So we have to make sure we're able to communicate with them that they want the higher price because they want to be able to sell the future homes for these higher prices. But where we're more likely to get a good deal, where we're going to have maybe some wiggle room where we could get some more money out of them, is through the seller concessions. And sometimes they'll have strings attached to this. Maybe it's that you're using their preferred home lender or title company or whatever the case may be. A lot of times these home builders will own these different entities as well, so that way they're able to make money off of the loan, off of the closing, off of all these different things. So if you're using these other companies, that means they're making more money, which is, again, where they might be willing to have more concessions about things like that. So that's maybe how you can negotiate this. But let's say now you did go on a tour, you collected some information, you know what you're able to do for clients, but now how do you also take advantage of this new construction idea to be able to get new clients? So again, you want to brand yourself as the new construction specialist, as the new construction expert. And part of that involves delivering some information to them. Now, something like this, a home builder is not going to be too happy with you if you're out there advertising that, oh yeah, I'll get you a great deal on this company. We'll just have to, we'll let you know what they're doing here and what they want to do. But you could allude to some of these things, and then on a more personal, direct type of meeting, which is ultimately what you want to have with a new buyer, you could kind of explain this process a little bit. And this isn't guaranteed that you're able to get any seller concessions. If this is a really hot neighborhood, you might not be able to get anything. Maybe it's $350,000 and that's it, and there's people lined up to buy it. It's probably going to even sell above full price. That's usually not the case, but if it is, then you're probably not going to get anything. But it is a possibility. And again, you want to make sure that they understand why you're able to get them a better deal than they would on their own. So even though they're paying you, that you're able to get a better deal because you constantly bring them clients, and they want you to keep bringing them clients, so that's why they keep giving good deals to your clients. And again, what can you use to kind of market and position this? And again, you want to meet with these people at the developers to make sure that this is okay. But you could go out there and maybe if you're doing some sort of mailing, or one of the big things is an open house. Maybe they don't have somebody 24/7 at their model home, and maybe you're wanting to be there to hold that model open. They usually call this a model minder. That maybe not is the best way to find business, because you're basically just trying to rely on that home builder's way to attract traffic. But maybe you want to take one of these inventory homes and get permission to hold an open house at one of these inventory homes that they have. Maybe there's one that's basically done. It's basically done and almost ready to move in, and so you want to hold an open house, and then you go right through holding a mega open house in this inventory home. And so now you've got a great property to hold open, and that's if you don't have any listings and you're looking for a property to hold as an open house. Especially if you want to specialize in new construction, this is a great opportunity for you. But you've got to get out there, go on the tours, meet the people, build relationships, and find out how you could help them. How you could help them, and then what they could do to help you help them. That's what we're doing here. We don't want to go in there and say, hey, what can you do to help me? We're going to say, hey, what can I do to help you, Mr. Home Builder Salesperson, Mrs. Home Builder Salesperson? What can I do to help you? Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, you know what? It's probably going to be a win-win for the both of us here. You know, I could go maybe hold an open house at one of these inventory homes that you've got here. And, you know, I'll market the crap out of it. I'll make sure that everybody in the world knows about this, and we're going to get as many people through there as possible. You know, and especially if you've done open houses before and you've had a good turnout, it's like, yeah, usually when I hold an open house, I get 20, 30 people through there. So we could get that many people coming through here, and, you know, we'll get these people taken care of here. And they say, wow, yeah, that's great. And again, how you could team up with them. Maybe it's about doing like a little video tour, maybe utilizing social media. There's so many ways you get creative with your marketing to be able to add on to what that developer is doing. But again, you can't do this unless you have a relationship with them, because if you don't have a relationship, you can't just, you know, send them an email and say, hey, do you mind if I go try to market your properties? They don't know you. They're gonna feel, they might say yes, but you might get some pushback on that, because they're like, well, who is this person? Who is this person that just randomly emailed me? And they probably won't even respond to your email. Maybe they see the email, they're like, oh, this isn't worth my time. So get out there, start building relationships, collect the information that you can, that you could deliver to your potential buyers and sellers, but you could also, again, use the new constructions as a great way to market opportunities that exist for buyers out there. Maybe in Tampa right now, there's a big initiative going on where there's for home affordability for people that are first-time home buyers, and there's builders out there that are specifically targeting first-time home buyers and have these programs available. And again, just like we talked about those closing cost concessions and other seller concessions you could get, they have programs set up specifically to help out these first-time home buyers. So there's a lot of opportunities out there with new construction. So get out there, start going on tours of some of the properties, build some relationships, collect some of that information, and start getting this ball rolling. Start using that to position yourself as a new construction specialist. Now look, all this begins with having your real estate license. So if you're watching this show and you don't have your real estate license yet, if you're still watching this show, what are you doing? You need to get your real estate license, because obviously you're interested in this. Obviously you think you can make some money with this, and you definitely can. It's absolutely possible to make six figures, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million in real estate, just through brokering deals like this. But it's not legal. It's not possible at all. The only thing I can tell you that I guarantee won't make it possible is if you don't have a real estate license, because otherwise you'll go to jail if you don't have a real estate license and you're trying to practice real estate. It's actually an offense, or you go to jail for up to 5 years. So look, if you want to start this, we could help you through this process. We've helped over 15,000 people go through our courses and get their real estate licenses, so we could help you through this process as well. Call us up. Our phone number is 813-333-2676. We've got advisors standing by to walk you through this process, the courses you'll need to take, the study tools that are available, what you've got to do after you get your real estate license, and really everything to get you to a successful real estate career. So call us up, 813-333-2676. That's about all the time we've got for today, so thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're gonna love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. You're watching State of Real Estate.